Well, hello, beautiful people. We are back at it once again. I hope you guys are so excited. This book has been such an amazing book. It is the book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. And we are into chapter 11, I think it is, or 10. It's one of those. But yes, this is part 48. And this chapter is all about health, and it was very controversial. If you didn't hear yesterday's episode, definitely go back and listen because there's a lot of powerful things, and I know a lot of people could benefit from that. So we're going to continue in this, and this is very controversial because this is the chapter I know where she really starts to get into a lot of things that are very sensitive. So we want to understand and be gentle at the same time when we're listening to these things, but keep an open mind, right? Because when we think more from a spiritual side and not so much from a literal side, everything kind of just opens up. And so that's what she always did an amazing job when she was writing this book. So I think you guys will get a lot of value from that. But just again, thinking more from a spiritual and not a religious, but just from a connected, open valve, open source, open to your higher self. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Here we go. Change the look. All right, here we go.
Change the look. At a talk I gave recently, I was asked, as I almost always am, how to get to that feeling place of thin when you can see quite clearly that you're fat.
Hmm.
It was another let's pretend scenario, knowing that you can't think thin, much less get there, when you're feeling fat. A gal in the back, who was frantically waving her hand, spoke up with the kind of excitement I usually associate with winning the lottery. I mean, she had something to say in no uncertain terms, and sure enough, she hit the nail on the head. It seems this gal had wanted to lose a considerable amount of weight, went through all the usual diets, lost, put back on, lost, put back on, as we've all done. Finally, she got into visualization, which sounded like a good idea, but went nowhere until she decided to put some emotional pizzazz behind the imagery. Then, all sorts of things started happening. First came her idea to work out at the gym. A good start, but she was astonished to find she couldn't even fake a desire to go to the gym if she was allowing herself to feel fat. Even more important, she found that as long as she was focusing on her weight, any notion of sticking with a diet past the first few pounds went out the window. So back she went into the visualizations and pretending games where, at first, she had to almost bully herself into feeling the weight she wanted to be. It worked. As long as she continued to pretend thin and feel thin and keep her focus off feeling fat, she could maintain her not too stringent diet with relative ease and no longer had to fight with herself about going to the gym. I don't know what her weight was before, but this lovely young woman was a picture perfect size 12 when I saw her.
Mm.
This is not just simple wanting to be thin or well. You can't just want and expect it to happen.
Right.
It's refocusing and refeeling, refocusing and refeeling, refocusing and refeeling. Your body will always respond to the image you give it, provided it's accompanied with the appropriate feeling, fat or thin, sick or well.
Hmm.
The secret to reversing anything within the body is to get your focus off what you don't want, find any way you can to get into that feeling place of what you do want, then know with a certainty that the laws of the universe are working, must bring that felt vision into reality, as long as you don't squelch it. What's wrong is never right.
Mm.
There is truly no sense in staying away from doctors if your beliefs say doctors work. Well, I've turned the health and shape of my body around dramatically. I know what my mind will and will not allow right now, so I still make an occasional visit to an MD or dentist.
Yes.
But think about it for a minute. What are doctors trained to do? Heal you. Sure, that's the objective. As soon as they find out what's wrong with you.
Right.
What's wrong is their business, their reason for being. Yes, they want to help, but if they don't find something wrong, how can they help you?
Right.
Since what's wrong is what they're looking for, and what you expect them to find, that is precisely what they and you are going to attract. Something that is wrong. Haven't you noticed that with doctors, we're either on the verge of getting something, or we've got one foot in the grave? We're either precancerous or haven't a chance. I'm not knocking those in the medical profession. They're a grand and commendable group, just now beginning to understand the process of wellness. But we don't have to join them in attracting any more of what we want to get rid of. And we certainly don't have to visit them in fear with closed valves.
Right.
If you've been told you're in some sort of precondition and it's scaring the pants off you, slow down and take a look at what you're creating. You've closed your valve by becoming fearful. You're magnetizing negatively and are now headed straight toward the inevitable fulfillment of the doctor's verdict. Every doctor on the face of this planet knows that illness soars once the diagnosis is given. Fancy that.
Exactly.
By all means, go to your doctor, but watch your reactions, your fears, your beliefs, your denial, which means watch your valve. Set the so-called incurable rate aside, along with any other gruesome statistics about the disease. This way, you can employ your doctor as a means to the end you desire, rather than as a cause for any further fear.
Yes.
Death is a joke.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about the pure positive energy that creates worlds, the energy to which we are always connected, but rarely open. Since our body is an extension of that primal force of life, why do we die? Let's say you're an actor. You get on stage, put on a costume, and experience the fun of being a character in the play. When you're done, you put the costume and character aside, but you're still you. Same thing with your expanded self. It's here playing around in a body, yours, for the sheer experience of it all, for the learning, for the fun. When it tires of this, it will do something else, but it won't go out like a candle. It can't. It's pure energy, and you can't snuff out energy. Ah, but even though energy can't be squelched, our negative vibrations most surely can squelch physical selves, a practice we seem to sanction with an appalling vitality. Focus with fear on a condition in the body we don't want, and our link to the greater energy we truly are becomes so drastically diminished, so constrained, the cells begin to shrivel from lack of life energy. The body is then reduced to bare survival conditions, ultimately dying from the relentless suffocation of its cells. But only the body dies, not the life force you are. In that state of suffocation, the poor cells, which must have a constant supply of life force, are now compelled to respond differently to the negative vibrations seething throughout the body. Since their own well-being has been compromised through lack of that critical energy, they have no alternative but to allow dis-ease to take over. If disallowance of the life force continues, the cells can no longer reproduce themselves. At that point, they cease their physical existence and simply recycle back into the pure positive energy of well-being from which they came. So do you. We call it death, But the only thing that ceases to exist is your physical form, not you.
Hmm.
Scientists already know that the body can live far longer than it does now, like centuries. Yet these incredible instruments we take for granted aren't going to keep running without gas. So if someone is no longer excited about their life and the energy stops flowing through them, what we call death is the result, but only to the body, not to you. It's not the tainted smoke from the cigarettes that kills you. It's the disallowance of life through the lifeline. It's not the heart attack that kills you. It's the disallowance of life that caused the attack in the first place. Let that life force pour steadily and freely through you, unrestrained and unrestricted, and you could drink cyanide every day for breakfast without even getting the hiccups.
Hmm.
So isn't it interesting that the biggest fear we continue to vibrate and then step away to vibrate even stronger is the fear we have of death? Fearing death is a deplorable learned response we picked up long ago from a bunch of power-hungry fanatics, religious and otherwise, who wanted to play the game of let's control the masses. And they did, brilliantly. Get a bunch of people to fear something like death, and you've got them right where you want them, under your oppressive thumb.
Hmm.
That's how all the stupid rumors about devils and evil and hell and some big judge in the sky got started, by using fear as a mechanism of control. But since energy can't die, and all of us are most assuredly energy-based, fearing death is nothing but a monumental waste of time that evokes nothing but more negative energy. The sad thing is, we've been so cleverly taught to fear death, we've totally forgotten how to live. However, if you do decide to change costumes, what happens is nothing more than a withdrawal from being physical, a disconnection from the body. The you that you are never quits. That part of you is forever and ever connected to eternal conscious awareness. You. So what we erroneously call death is just a shift of focus, a bipping from one frequency to another. Will you ever be John Doe again? No. And would you want to be? But you don't cease to exist. You can't. You are the ongoing energy of life, scampering around down here right now, on this particular playground. You are the pure positive energy of well-being, and you cannot kill energy.
Mhm.
The importance of putting this fear to rest is no small thing, because even if we get all of our other don't wants switched to wants, but then leave that one scary thorn in our side called death, we still have a fear vibration affecting everything, along with a mighty uphill climb to enjoyable health. The easier way is to stop fearing this atrocious man-made myth and concentrate with everything we have on raising our frequencies to that greater part of ourselves, which is the very essence of all that is. Then we'd have all the heaven we could handle right here in our own little world, the way it was meant to be.
Okay,
Everything is a co-creation.
let's get that back. All right, you guys. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like I said, this was a very controversial part in itself. 'Cause she talks about a lot of very controversial things, and if you want to know more on a personal level where she went and what happened with her, always you can always look that up. I don't take away from the book and what she was doing and what she was going through. Everybody has to go through certain things. But this gets me excited about life. It gets me excited about knowing that anything is possible. I am somebody who wants to embrace living forever. So doing everything possible to get there is so important. And I hope you guys are coming along with me on that journey. Everybody is, because it's just going to be a super exciting ride, and I'm super excited for life and what it has to come. So definitely pass this on to somebody who might be in benefit or need of hearing this, because it is very important, because we know that mental health issues is a very serious thing, and maybe this could be a huge turning point for that person, that would need something like this. So definitely comment down below. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of this great content. And until next time, you guys make it a great day. Take care.